What's up guys, Callum from Westwood Table Soccer here. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Talking Complete Kit. In this episode we are back on the LPM online figures, little plastic men, hence why this video is about twice as long as the others, because these guys, as you remember from the previous episodes, has a lot of different figure types. We've got the AL1s, two different styles, AL1 Lightweights, heavyweight replicas, walkers, vintage. There's a lot of different figures to go through, and also one or two surprises in this video. I made a few decisions as I was painting these that I've not done before to try a few different things out, and actually one of them I think is brilliant, and I need your help in the comments below. So please, when you see it, get in the comments below. I'd love to hear from you guys. So what I've also done with this video is I have put some chapters down, so if you scrub along the red bar, you'll be able to jump to whatever figure type you want to see, or you can jump backwards and forwards from whichever one you want to. I understand that 30 odd minutes for a video is quite long, but there's information contained in this video that's going to be hopefully very useful. If you do like it, which I think you're going to, smash that like button. The subscribe button's down here as always, or you can wait till the end of the video. Enough chit chat on the intro, Cal. This video is a long one anyway, so let's get on with it. Let's have a look at Little Plastic Men online. Alright, so here we've got our LPM figures. Now, we're going to start off with the vintage, then we're going to swing by onto the walker, do the heavyweight, then do the lightweight, then do the AL1s. So we're going to try and blast through these pretty quickly, because we've got quite a lot of them to get through. Now, the vintage figure has a very, very small margin for error around those shorts and socks, and the mold line at the front isn't great. It doesn't give you a lot, and there's a little pinch point. It's definitely worse on the guy with hair. I'm going to show you guys without any paint. This little pinch point here between that sock line coming up and that short line coming out is an area that can cause problems. Now, this won't be an issue if you're doing dark shorts, dark socks. It won't matter. If you want to leave these areas white, you're going to have to be very, very careful in and around here, which I will show you that on camera as I'm doing it. The mold line isn't particularly strong. You can kind of just about see where the top of the sock should be. On the sleeves there is a definite drop down to where the hands are, quite small wrists. Up around the head, a nice solid hairline comes down. You've got the ears here, you can just about see, and again it does kind of chamfer in a little bit here, which is going to make doing that neckline around there a little bit easier. Nice and smooth up around the collar, which is going to allow you to create those classic sort of real low drop collars that come down to do some tie top in or some v-neck in. We'll do one of these as a tie top collar style and maybe one as a v-neck so you can get a look at it. But what we'll do, we'll start with this guy here. Now, straight off the bat, you're not going to want a massively thick brush setup. So you've got mine here, it's quite thin, and it's so difficult. The mold line on this is not great. You can just about make it out, but you want to be super careful with these guys. And then you've got this pinch point, which is an absolute nightmare. So what you want to do is turn your brush onto the flat and try and get it in there so that you don't get too much off. It's just a really, I don't know, well, I say I don't know why it's like that. It's just the angle of the legs, it's the way it's designed, but could have been maybe a little bit different when they did it. But I suppose once you've set up a design and you've got your mold set, you're not going to change it. But it's a bit of a tricky area. It's not the end of the world. Like, it's not impossible to do. It's just a little bit fiddly, and like I said, you don't get a lot of margin for error with these guys. And I'm guessing, I mean, these figures have been around for a very, very long time, so I would imagine that the molding would have been a lot clearer early on, especially around the sock and the short line. As I said, it's not very clear. It's quite a smooth finish on the plastic between the socks and the short line, especially around the front. I think it's just where the molds potentially have got a little bit old and that definition has sort of disappeared a little bit. But as you can see there, the backs of the legs are very, very tricky to paint. Real pinch points. Coming up onto the hands, I say we'll leave this guy long sleeved. I might fiddle about with the second guy and maybe do him in like a 3/4 sleeve, like a classic. Team I'm thinking of straight off the bat is a Uruguay picture from like 1930 where they've sort of all got rolled up sleeves. That's the kind of sleeve length I'm thinking about on those. But yeah, painting the hands, nice and easy. They've got really small wrists. They do have a line that sits between the hand and the sleeve, but it's not massive, so it would allow you, if you wanted to, and we're going to show you guys on the other figure, it does allow you, if you want to come up a little bit higher. I want to have a little classic tie top on this, so I'm going to bring this down the middle of the shirt to create my central line. So if you want to create a tie top, this is how we would do it. So what I've done there is I've just put a little skin flesh line around there. What I'm going to do then is just do the rest of his face so I can know where I've got to build my sort of diagonal line to. So again, I need to create sort of a smooth round neckline. Again, there isn't really a mold line there, so like the SuperFooties, you do have that freedom to create whatever neckline style that you want, which is great. But if you're looking for something easy to paint and you just want to be able to follow mold lines, maybe these are not the figures for you. But it's not hard to do. It shouldn't put you off. These figures are great, they look great. How they play, I've not played with a SuperFooty figure in a long time, so I couldn't actually tell you, but we're going to have a little look later on in the series about how they play. So what I've got now is my line in there, and what I'm going to want to do is, I don't want my brush that thick, so I want to have a nice thin brush set up. Okay, and then off of this line, all I want to do is quite high up, I just want to try and merge this into where I go round the corner there. I'm going to do the same again on the other side, so that hopefully you can create a nice area there. And what I want to do is just tidy that up a little bit into there. So there we have a long sleeve tie top collar on a vintage. As I said, just be very careful around the back of the legs. What I'm going to do is time-lapse blast through this second one a little bit, and then I'm going to come back in and show you the creating of the short sleeves. In terms of the mold for this style vintage figure, you can see there's a less of a pinch point around the back. You do get a little bit more leg space to paint on the bald figure, the bald geezer here. Okay, so there we have our two vintage. We've got this guy over here, the original vintage. This guy's a newer figure. Collar line's pretty much exactly the same. There isn't a main collar sort of mold line to follow. You just kind of have to create it with paint. Arms, again, pretty much the same. I think that this newer style figure does have less of a cut in for the end of the shirt than this guy does over here. And the legs, as you can see, are massively different. There's definitely more surface area on this guy over here than there is on this guy. So we now have the heavyweight Walker style figure on the LPM basis. I can't for the life of me remember what these ones are called. I want to say maybe the I-base Storms. Let's go with that. So these guys are on the sort of modern flat style base. Just looking at this figure straight off, look how smooth his t-shirt is. That's going to be great. Be great for decaling, I imagine, the smoother shirt. Does have a nice mold line here between the shorts and the shirt, and it looks like it's kind of an untouched shirt because it sits quite a lot over. This would be cool for like those new beach pitches. You could do some really cool like t-shirt and board short designs, I reckon. with these style figures. Short sleeve design figure, so you have no option with these, you have to be short sleeve, so skin line's going to come all the way up. In terms of a shirt mold line, again, there is a really small one there, but it's not massive. But the detail on the face is incredible on these guys. Got the ears around here. The hairline is smooth, so again, that gives you freedom to create whatever you want. And again, around near the legs, there's not a massively obvious divide here, which could allow you to create a kind of a beach football-y type vibe. Which actually, should we go for it? Should we give it a bash? And we'll take his legs down quite low and make it look like he's wearing trainers. So I've literally just thought of that. So we're going to give that a go. We're going to create kind of a beach style football kit with this guy. I do have a couple of others that are already done. So in the actual where the lines actually are, so you can see those guys here and how far the legs should go down. But I reckon let's do this guy in kind of a relaxed beach football style kit. No shinies. Let's give it a go. Here we go. The only real area of concern on the legs then is going to be that we don't encroach onto those shorts. In terms of the socks, we're just going to take them. We're going to take this leg all the way down. This is something I've never done before. But the lack of mold line there, it is there, don't get me wrong. There is a mold line there, but I reckon this could work really well. It's just going to look a bit strange. I've never seen a Subbuteo figure with no socks on before. But we're going to give it a go. Why not? Oh, that looks cool. That does look cool. I'll give it that. That does look pretty awesome. I might even do one of the flesh tone 61s in the same style, because I think it works really well, because he just looks so casual. Like the figure itself just has a real casual look about it. So for that sort of urban style, like if you're using the urban arena maybe that Stuart loves so much over on the over on the Subbuteo Collector's channel, he loves the urban arena. It's absolute rubbish, but he's got one and he quite likes it. But then that's Stuart, innit? But yeah, these guys look really good. And there's new beach football pitches, but actually I think these figures are made for it. Absolutely made for it. And as we've already seen, this peg style figure does fit into a whole multitude of bases. So at the moment he's on a flat style LPM. Like I say, I want to say it's an I-base Storm base. But yeah, that's what he's on at the moment. And they do have some really nice boot molds as well. Like you can even see up and around where the tongue would be, which is another reason why I thought, oh, that'd be really cool. It's like a pair of trainers. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to do them as a pair of trainers and just some legs. That looks so weird. It looks so strange looking at a Subbuteo figure who just has legs and no socks. So that's cool. So that's what we've done there. Obviously, we have to go short sleeves because we have no choice, because the mold line is very severe around the top. And again, it's just about getting a nice flat brush set up and just following that mold line around. It's not overly strong, but it is there. You can follow it. If you're brand new to painting, I'd suggest being a lot more careful than I am. I've been doing this for so long that I just sometimes just go into natural mode and just start throwing paint down. So yeah, be careful. There is a mold line there, but it's not massively clear all the way around, and it doesn't give you anything to sort of butt up against with your paint. So do be careful, because it would be very easy to mess that up and overpaint into it. Coming up around here, just want to hit that mold line with the outside edge of my brush. Probably get caught at slip if I'm taking it on the outside edge. Might get lucky though, might get put down, who knows. But we're going to come around there. These are, to be fair, so smooth, these guys. Very easy to paint. Take paint well, it adheres to it really nicely, which is something that I find pretty cool. Like, it doesn't feel like I'm having to use extra paint to fill in gaps. Like, it's got a nice stick to it. Really nice. And then we're just going to come around and do his head. We'll paint his head all in one colour for now. What we'll probably do is come around and play with that a little bit more later on. We'll give him some sort of probably black hair when we come around and do him later. But at the moment, I'm not worried about that. I'm just having a little look. Wait, should we make him a V-neck t-shirt as well, this geezer? Make him a V-neck t-shirt. Let's do it. Come around and do that in a second. Just want to finish its head. Heads have got a lot of surface area when you've got to paint the whole lot. Takes a while. Takes longer than you think. So coming around there. Nice and simple. Let's just create ourselves a V-neck. I'm just going to give my brush a little clean off there, and then we're going to come down, and because it's a t-shirt, we're probably going to start like there. He is a super cash geezer, this guy. An absolute legend. What should we call him? If you want, let's give him a name. There he is. So there we go, the heavyweight Walker figure. As I said, we've chosen to customize him a little bit more and a little bit further than the actual figures would want you to. The guys on the left and the right now are painted in with mold lines. We just decided to do the middle guy. I said he doesn't have a name yet, so get in the comments, let's give him a name. We decided to do this guy in kind of like a beach style, casual street soccer type look, because the sock lines aren't an obvious mold, so I think it works quite well. In terms of paint, as I say, these guys very, very easy. Really, really smooth. The t-shirts and the shorts and everything, real smooth. So basically every single detail that you put on this shirt is going to be added with paint rather than using mold lines and detailing, but I'm quite pleased with those. That is the heavyweight Walker style figure. We're now going to come on to the heavyweight replica. Alright, our next figure then is the heavyweight hybrid. Now this guy at the moment is sat in a SuperFooty base. We've also got one that we've already painted, and he's on a Santiago Spitfire, and we've also got another one over here, and he is on the LPM iBase Storms again, I believe. Mold lines on these guys are super, super clear. Very, very detailed figures, these. Absolutely love them. Obviously being a heavyweight fan myself anyway. The mold lines on the sleeves mean that you pretty much only get the choice of doing long sleeve. We'll do this one as a short sleeve to show you. I do do short sleeve heavyweight figures quite a lot, and it can be really effective and it does really work. I do it on the Santiago heavyweight replica style figures. So what I've done here is I've got two short sleeve. What we'll do is two long sleeve rather. What we'll do is we will do this guy as a short sleeve figure. So again, we're going back to Humbrol code 61. In terms of the mold on the socks is massively, it's indented, it's right there for you really to see. There's a lot of crease lines and stuff. Honestly, unbelievably detailed, these guys. We are going to get the same issue that you get with the Zeugos and the Santiagos. When you bring your skin line up, it's going to join in the middle, which does require a little bit of clever play with the old paint in the middle, but we can do that on a later video. Let's get on with it then. I'm not anticipating these being massively difficult. I'm pretty familiar with painting heavyweight figures on this channel. It's something I've been doing forever, so these should be nice and easy. Paint goes on really well. As I said, the plastic is kind of like it's a matte finishy type plastic, and I really like it. It doesn't have as much sheen to it, as much Charlie, which I really like about the LPM figures, is that they're not like a bright white. If I grab a SuperFooty in a second, I'll show you them side by side, and you should maybe, don't know how it's going to turn out on camera actually, but we're going to give it a bash. Just while I've got them here, let's just grab a SuperFooty on white plastic. Hopefully you can see this, but this guy's got a much more matte, solid finish. This guy's got like a translucent, it's a strange finish on the SuperFooty white, but this guy's got kind of a translucence to him. This guy, lovely sort of matte, real toned down finish, which I like. Anyway, now we've just gone over that again for absolutely no reason, but somebody might find it useful. We're going to get back onto painting him again, starting on the back of this leg. Really easy to do because the mold lines are nice and clear, and actually if you're clever and careful you can actually run your brush along those mold lines to make sure that you don't overstep. You can actually butt up against them with your brush, again using that sort of outside edge to get the paint up to in and around those areas that you need them to be in. Coming around between his legs, I want to try and leave as much white there as possible. As I said, I don't know what kits I'm going to be painting these figures guys into yet, absolutely no idea, so I don't want to make too many decisions in regards to kit styles and stuff like that, and what colours things are going to be. Obviously he might have white shorts, so I've left it with as much white as I can leave. So what we're going to do is we're going to make this guy into a short sleeve, as we've already established, but you can see a very strong mold line for the sleeves. That is going to cause a little bit of a problem, but as I said, it's something I do quite a lot anyway with the Santiago Type 2, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to give it a little bash, and we're going to get this heavyweight figure to be short sleeved. On this arm it looks like it's going to be a little bit easier because that line isn't as defined around his wrist. In terms of creating short sleeve, again the process is exactly the same with these as it is with any other figure that allows you the option to do long or short sleeve. So the heavyweight Walker doesn't give you really the option because it's got sleeve lines higher up. You just want to kind of bring it to where you feel like a short sleeve shirt would go, and then you want to divide that round in a diagonal. As I said, I've mentioned it earlier in the video, there's a video on the Painting Academy series where I talk about in some detail creating short sleeves and how it looks if you get it wrong. If you just take a straight line across, you have to do that diagonal cut across the arm, else it just looks weird. Does not work. So there we go, we've got ourselves a short sleeve shirt, and we do have a round neck mold line, and I'm not going to mess around with that, so I'm going to fill that in as a round neck. Just want to take a little bit of skin there up into the side parting. We can reclaim some of that back later on with hair coloured paint, and then we're just going to follow this round into the mold line of this collar. Really, it's nice and defined, the collar line on this figure. I do absolutely love these. I'm pretty sure I'm going to do a whole team on one of these one day. I think these are really cool figures. I love the heavyweight figure, and these are ridiculously detailed. I just don't know what bases I'd put them in and why. I don't really play the slidey game, but that's kind of like what they're designed for. So there we go, there we have it, heavyweight hybrid figures on peg fittings. We've got them on 3 different style bases here actually, so that's going to be really good later on in the series when we come to play test these, because they're all the same figure. So the one we just painted today has the short sleeve design, the other 2 have the long sleeve design. This is MAC code 98, we cover it again. These are 61 Santiago Spitfire SuperFooty eye-base storms. Alright, we are back then with the AL1 Lightweight Replica. Now we've already painted a couple of these guys as we have done with all the others. We've got a long sleeve geezer here and we've got a short sleeve geezer here. How good, by the way, does the all black base look with that white peg in the middle? Looks absolutely awesome. And to be fair, so does this. Love these Spitfire bases in terms of how they look, how they play. If they're like the old Hasbros, they're going to be like, I'm not going to like them. I was going to say they're going to be rubbish, but some people love it. So with these guys, we've got a V-neck guy on this one and we've got a round neck guy on this one. The one that we're going to be painting for you today is in the CLR Dynamic Plus base setup, which is the triple colour option. So we've got white, sky blue and grey. This has all been glued together now, so he's nice and solid as he goes flying across the screen there for you guys. Now in terms of mould lines on these, now shorts and socks mould lines, lovely, all in place, nice and easy. Now the arms allow you to create that long or that short sleeved vibe, and again the collar line doesn't exist, so you do get a lot of freedom with these to create whatever sleeve and collar line you want to have. So with this one, what we're going to do is we're probably going to do him in like I reckon we'll go long sleeve with this guy. So in terms of painting the legs, these guys are super smooth. Like, we'll grab a heavyweight guy over again in a second, just to do a little comparison. So the paint goes on really well. Again, these figures have got that matte finishy type plastic that all the LPMs do. Love the plastic actually from the LPMs. Really nice. In terms of taking the paint, takes the paint nice and easy. As I said, the mold lines are lovely and clear, which makes painting them nice and easy to know where you should stop and start. The only thing I will say about the lightweight and about a couple of the others actually is they don't have the mold line to sort of show where a sock might roll over at the top. Like the heavyweight guys have that sort of mold line to say where sock tops are different. Again, it's not a massive negative or a problem, but it's just not there, so it's something to keep an eye out for. Let's just grab the heavyweight that we painted the other day. So as you can see there, look at the amount of detail in terms of crease lines and stuff on the lightweight in comparison to the heavyweight. And you'll also see on this guy here is this sort of mold line around the top of the sock, which lets you know where the sock tops are. But again, even on the Walker figure, there isn't one, so it's very smooth. On the vintage, there isn't one. Well, there's a really slight one on the vintage. You might not even be able to see it, but there is one there. Most of them don't have it. The Zeugos do. So Zeugos do have that mold line at the top to show where sock tops would go, but some of them don't. Do the SuperFooties? I don't think they do. Oh, they do. SuperFooties have it as well, so they do have a little extra mold line, but the LPMs, the lightweight doesn't, the Walker doesn't, the AL1 that we're going to come to in a minute does, but these guys do not. So in terms of painting your kit later on, not a massive issue, but again, something to consider. You are going to have to create those sock designs and those bandings, however you want to do them, with paint rather than be able to follow mold lines. Look at the hands on these. I love these. Real good details on the AL1s. So what we're going to do, as I said, we're just going to make this guy a long sleeve just for the sake of ease. We do have a short sleeve guy made up. You've seen me paint enough short sleeves today. You don't need to see me do any more. But yeah, so these guys, real nice hand details on these. I think they're really cracking design. And something that you don't see massively recreated is a lightweight style figure, brand new, the Subbuteo sort of 2003 era. And again, the face details on these guys are insane. Real high quality detailed on the face. What we're going to do is we're going to come around and give him a round neck for now. Again, if we need to change that once we decide what kit we're going to do him as, we can change that round, so that's not a problem. Just coming up around there. And again, there's some real good detailing around the back of the neck as well, just in there. The way you put your skin isn't a massive issue when you're painting, in terms of on the head, because you can always claim it back later on. So here are then the AL1 Lightweights. We've got 3 of them. Again, we've got a short sleeved version here. We've got one with a sort of a shallow V, and we just got a round neck version here again with the long sleeves. In terms of how to paint them, easy. So easy, these guys. Very impressed with the ease in which these guys paint. They're so smooth. They take paint really nicely. So the LPM lightweight figure, brilliant. Cannot argue with it at all. Really good figure. Okay, our final figures then from the LPM online variety are these guys here. We've got the AL1 and the AL1 bald figures here. Now again, as before, we painted some of these guys up already into different flesh tones and different designs. With this guy here, I've already made the call. That's going to be Sadio Mane, because what I've done is that ridiculous Liverpool collar with like the double V-neck around the back, just because I want to give it a try. I hate it in real life. I think it's absolutely ridiculous, that sort of double V. I think it's a horrendous collar, but I want to try it and see what it looks like on a Subbuteo figure. So this guy here is going to be Sadio Mane. So He's in there. He's got a double V-neck setup. We've got this guy here, round neck. We haven't done this guy yet, obviously. This guy's round, this guy's round. Really cool hairline details. Hands, again, superbly detailed. Really nice boot details, again, down on the bottom. Looking forward to putting some kits on these guys. In terms of mold lines, again, as you can see, we've been very, very easily able to create the short sleeve and the long sleeve over here, and the different collar styles. We've got the V here and the non-V, and again, because there's no real mold line around there, that's nice and easy to do. We're going to stick with the matte 61 because that's what we've got out at the moment to do these guys. I'm not expecting it to be massively difficult, so what I'm probably going to do is just paint through one and then time lapse the other one, because they're very, very similar in style to the AL1 Lightweight, except for there's a bit less skin area. But what we'll do is we'll go through it. We'll do the bald figure first, and then we'll time lapse through the others. Let's have a look at this one, how he goes on. In terms of mold lines, as I said, they do have a secondary mold line for the sock top area. It's not massively big though, so it's not a big issue if you paint over it with your paint, or if you don't want to have defined sock tops. In terms of coming around, the mold line on the shorts and the top of the leg is nice and clear. Around the back, a little bit less so, but very, very easy to see. In terms of the hands and the arms, very smooth transition all the way down the arms. You could have your sleeve lengths pretty much however you want to have them. And again, it's exactly the same at the top here for the collar line. Face details, again, absolutely insane. And the hair, even on the AL1, there's like actual molded, sculpted hair, which I think is awesome. So, so cool. But we're going to come on to that in a minute. Let's start this guy off. We're going to get some paint on there. Get him going. So coming round, again, very, very easy to follow that short mold line round and the sock mold line from the front of the figure. No problems there whatsoever. In terms of how the paint feels going on, much the same as all the others. This does feel a little bit shinier than the heavyweight guy is, especially, but still not an issue. And what you will find with these, as you have done with all the sort of figures with the staggered legs, like the SuperFooties and the vintage guys, is you will get that nice, easy left white space underneath his legs that you don't get with the heavyweight style figures, just because of the way they're designed and copied basically from the original. They didn't leave enough gap in the mold so that the skin basically joins together like they're wearing a skirt, pretty much. With these guys, you don't get that. Again, there isn't a lot of surface area to paint under the legs, on the legs, so it is something you will have to be a little bit careful of, especially if you're quite new to painting and you want to leave those areas in another color. You'll notice I am not using any primer. I would get asked this question so often. Do I use primer? I covered it a little bit earlier in this video, and I've covered it in previous videos. I do not prime my figures. I would recommend, if you are only going to use acrylic paint, which again is not something that I do. I do have acrylic paints, but I do not exclusively use acrylic paints. I pretty much exclusively use Humbrol matte enamels, which you are seeing here today. I would recommend, and I would also, this is basically come from a couple of other painters. Obviously Watsy, who we do the Subbuteo show with, he paints with pretty much exclusively acrylic paint. Now, he will say, and I understand why he will say this, is he primes everything because it needs a key. Acrylic definitely is problematic sometimes when painted straight onto brand new plastic, because it has a sheen to it, a shine to it, and the paint just does not want to stick. So I would recommend, if you are using solely acrylic paints, guys, potentially, I'm not saying you have to, because I probably still wouldn't bother, I just keep trooping on, but I would recommend maybe giving them a super light prime. And again, I would always prime in white, because it allows all your colors to come out looking true color. What we're going to see later on this series, when we use the flesh colored plastic from Santiago, is that you lose true color by painting onto different coloured plastics basically. So if you primed your figures in a different colour, you're not going to get a true colour finish on whatever you put on top. So I do not prime here. I also do not varnish. I do none of those things. I think varnish looks awful. Personally, it's just my personal opinion. I don't like the way it looks. It makes figures look too shiny. Matte finish varnish is exactly the same. It still looks shiny. I don't know why they don't they're just basically they're a fraud. So we've done this guy. Long sleeve, round neck, painted his entire head. He's bald. So here he is. Very, very easy. Again, they're so smooth. In terms of creating the long sleeve, very, very easy. I could take this up and high or as low as I wanted to, and that round neck, nice and easy. What I will show is we'll make him a V-neck. I don't know what I'm going to paint this kit into, but we'll make him a V-neck anyway, just so we can show you guys, again, the creation of a V-neck. So it's going to come down to here, and all I want to do is just bring it back up to where I'm moulding, where I've got that, and I'm just going to look to, in a minute, just merge them together. So it's really nice and easy to do. I would always start by creating a round neck first. You can do it another way. On the Painting Academy, I showed another way to create V-necks, but I wanted to show you guys doing it this way because I've been told it's easier than the other way I did it, but I do it 2 different ways. So there we go. We've created a V-neck. What I'm going to do is just time lapse through this second figure because he's pretty much the same except his hair is different. So we're going to time lapse through this last figure, and then we're going to... Cool, so that is all of the LPM figures done. By the way, how cool is this purple? I love this purple from SuperFooty. What a cool colour that is. But that is all the LPM figures done. We have painted now the heavyweight replica, the Walker, the vintage, the 2 styles of vintage, the lightweight. We've got the AL1s, the 2 style of AL1s. We've done all of those and we've covered them in quite a lot of detail. In terms of overall, massively impressed as a general rule with the LPMs. I think they've been lovely to paint so far. How they take kits, we're going to see a little bit later on. I don't envisage any problems with these guys because I think they're super smooth, so they're going to take paint really well, and because they've got that slightly matte finish, I think they're going to take colours really, really well as opposed to the shinier plastic of the SuperFooties. But we'll see. We'll see when we get to it. We have got one more manufacturer to go through, and it is Santiago Table Soccer. So let's get those figures out now. See, I told you there's a little surprise in here. So do not forget down in the comments, I want to know what to call our little urban / beach football-y type geezer. I want to give him a name. I think he deserves one. I think he's really cool. And like I said, it happened. I was just painting him and I thought, you know what? Those sock lines aren't that prominent. We could put him like he's just wearing a pair of trainers, like he's a bit casual, street footballer, beach footballer. Want to do something cool with him. So if you can think of a name for him, that'd be amazing. Whatever kit we're going to do on him, it's going to have to be something ridiculous for him. But I hope you've enjoyed it. As I said, there was a lot of information in there, a lot of different figure types to look at. I really enjoyed doing it. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. There's nothing else for me to say, guys. The rest of the playlist is up here. The original Little Plastic Men video here. Subscribe button in the middle as always. Until the next one. Stay safe.